I'm going for a Wolverine Origins look because my hair is getting way too long and I need a haircut, but I'm too cheap to get one. Hello! Es ist Sonntag und ich heiße Sonntag, and welcome back to Books and Hooks. If you're new here, welcome! I am D.M.Sonntag, author of the Kingdom Isles series, and this is a channel where I talk about books and crochet. Some of them my own, some of them books that I've read, and indies that I want to support, because I myself am an indie author. I have self-published 3 books and 2 novellas, and I am currently in the process of writing a 3rd novella to wrap up the Kingdom Isles series. If you're a returning watcher, welcome back. I still haven't found a house yet, but I'm looking, and hurdles have been thrown my way, but I carry on. This video was going to be another reading with my first novella because I wanted to try out my new mic and get a little bit better at narrating, because eventually I do want to make an audiobook. I don't know if I'll be the narrator for that. I don't really have good narrating skills, I think. I'm still working on it and getting better. Audiobooks are really hard when you're self-published because you do everything. You have to have a quality mic, and I don't even know how I would publish it on Amazon audiobooks. I can't even remember what it's called. Audible. That's it. But yeah, obviously this $20 mic is not production quality. I have gotten requests from audiobook listeners that they're really interested and they would love an audiobook, and I would love to make one, so that is something down the line. But right now I am focused on making that 3rd novella, so before the audiobook of The Lightning Bride comes out, I want to get the Kingdom Isles wrapped up. And honestly, I want to start my Better Than Twilight series. So yeah, audiobooks probably not something I'm going to do. I would have to hire a professional narrator, and that costs a lot of money. I believe it's by the minute, so if you have a 7-8 hour long audiobook, it can get pretty pricey. But this is not about my financial woes. Another reason this is not a reading of my own books is because I finished another book and I really want to promote it and support it because it's another fellow indie. As something of an indie author myself,
I'm something of a scientist myself.
I know the importance of reviews and ratings, so if I can help a fellow indie with a little more promotion, I'll do it. I also need to amp up my review process. In editing my last video, I realized I just kind of rambled. I didn't have a script, and it showed, at least for me. So I want to actually review the book of what I liked, what I didn't like, and follow a format that I got inspired by Elise Myers. I'll link her below. I love watching her. She's very close to my age and like my spirit sister, because she's also a writer. She's neurospicy. She crochets. I'm not convinced we're not the same person. With the amount of hair I shed, some scientists probably picked it up and cloned me. Well, since she's older than me, I guess I'm the clone. Still, she's incredible, amazing, highly recommend to check her out. So I'm taking a page from her book, haha, of reviewing. She does it in a 10-point scale. I'm gonna do it in a 5-star scale because Amazon and Goodreads is a 5-star scale. So those 5 points are plot, characters, writing style, originality, and overall enjoyment. Oh, and then there's the spice scale, which I kinda am stealing from her. I'm modifying the peppers, but it's also out of 5. So the first one is just good old black pepper. You can handle it, it's mild, holding hands, a kiss, no explicit scene, no dirty dance without pants. The second one is mild salsa, maybe a little bit of a kick, steam, passion, fade to black, closed door. And this is what I write. I'm around a 2. I will do steam in my books, but if any explicit scenes come up between characters, I don't write it. I think the imagination is kind of better than what I can write. Maybe I'll challenge myself in the future, but right now, it's up to your imagination. So the third one is medium salsa. This one has an open door scene with explicit details, or just detailed steam. There's a dirty dance without pants, and you read it. Number 4 is habanero. So these are frequent and explicit scenes. The dirty dance is a significant plot point. And number 5 is the dirty dance is the plot of the book. Oh, and that's the Carolina Reaper. I've never had one. I'm from South Carolina, and I never plan to have one. Are they from North Carolina? I don't know, we should just merge and be Carolina. So the book that I read was Night Shift by Megan Alexandria, and this is book 1 in the Miranda Rites series. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was incredible. Was it perfect? No, I found a typo. But when I broke this book down, it was so good, and I will explain with my new rating system. So, plot. The main character is Miranda, and she's a cop, and her sister has gone missing. Actually, I'm going to read the back of the book summary because it does a great showcase of Miranda's character and the author's writing style. Missing would be fine if Daddy's last words hadn't been "take care of your sister," if their mama were still around, or if there weren't debt-collecting vampires and broody werewolves looming over Memphis, Tennessee. Missing would be fine if anyone could explain why Lainey stopped checking in online or sending cat videos, but no one seems to know. Between investigating a homicide, questioning her own sanity, and falling into a bewitching sort of love triangle, losing track of her sister is the last thing Miranda needs, and honestly, it's anything but fine. Yeah, that's why I gave plot a full star, because the missing sister is just the tip of the iceberg. She's also uncovering mystery after mystery, secret after secret, and it's done in such a great, oh my gosh, I have to keep reading to learn along with her. And I often forgot, oh my god, she's looking for her sister. Characters, I also gave a full star. The main three are Miranda, who I loved throughout the whole book, Eddie, who I loved in the beginning of the book, and Elijah, who I grew to love closer to the end of the book. So it's a solid star when you have a main character that you just absolutely love reading, you love their personality. It was told in first-person perspective, and I really got into her mind. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that I'm not typically a person that enjoys love triangles. I gravitate toward the first person that is introduced into said triangle, and then when the second person gets introduced, I'm like, no, don't choose that one. But Alexandria was such a good writer that I was falling for the second person and really struggling alongside Miranda of, oh my gosh, who do I choose? If you've noticed some changes, it's because I moved the camera, my mic fell, and I need to switch. Hold on. There we go. Okay. What was I saying? Writing style, also a full star, but at first I was thrown off because it's very different than my own. It was probably just a me problem, but once I lost myself into the story, it was really easy to follow, and it's very poetic. It's hard to explain the writing style, and the closest I can get is it reminded me of Time Traveler's Wife, which I think I read last year, but it gives the sort of same vibe. And then, if books are food, there are ones that you read to just eat, to fill the hunger, and then there are ones you read to digest and savor and enjoy, and this one is definitely the latter. The reason the writing style threw me off at first is I'm, like I said before, neurospicy, so I'm very cut and dry. As they walk to the store, she buys eggs, he buys bread, and that's how I would take it. They're buying groceries. And in high school, I had a guidance counselor sit down with me to go over my low SAT scores, at least for reading comprehension, and she said, "Oh, you don't read." And I was like, I read all the time. I'm constantly getting in trouble for reading during class. I just don't comprehend well. Because those tests were trying to get me to understand the steamy undertones or something. Like, oh, she's buying eggs, wink wink. He's buying bread. That means they want to do the dirty dance with no pants. And I'm like, they're just buying groceries. They're gonna make a cake. But, you know, the tests are like, no, the cake is the baby they want to make. And I'm just like, oh. That's not a real book, by the way. I just made that up. I mean, maybe there is a book out there like that, but nothing's original, which is actually my next point. Originality, this gets a full star so hard. The werewolves have a hierarchy. They speak in German. They have connections with the police. This book is called Night Shift. Get it? Because werewolves at night shift, and then also the cops, and it's the Miranda Rites series, and her name is Miranda. It's just so clever. It's so unique. It's not your typical werewolf and vampire story. I loved it. But that goes into overall enjoyment, which also gets a full star. I've been a slow reader to late, but there have been nights where this has kept me up. Night Shift. I just kept turning page after page after page, and I read at night to make me sleepy, and there were times I would go through full chapters and not be tired in the least because I just needed to know what happened next. So finally, there's Spice, which isn't a star, it's its own separate category, and this is a 4. This is a habanero. It's pretty spicy. There are many open door scenes that are relevant to the plot, but not the plot itself. They are descriptive and part of Miranda's character. She processes her emotion through the... I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube, so that's why I've been calling it the dirty dance with no pants. But anyway, that's how she processes her emotions, and she literally has a line that says, "When I'm upset, I have..." God, this is such a PG video. Which is funny because I swear like a sailor, but I censor myself. In conclusion, this book was fantastic and I highly recommend. If werewolves and vampires and magic, oh my, are your thing, head on over to Amazon and look up Megan Alexandria. Or if you're a Wattpad person, you can go over there and she's got more books. She has the Ostler's Boy series. She has Of Birds and Bullets, something with birds and bullets. And all her info will be linked below. Now onto crochet, which will be relatively short. Hopefully. No past me this time because present me is making these. It is a succulent, or as my dad called, a green rose. Kind of does look like a rose. Which is funny because for my own wedding, I was making paper roses for my bouquet out of Twilight pages because it was the only book that I could feel good about ripping apart. I'm not a Twilight hater. I don't think it should have been as popular as it is. I just don't feel like there's anything special about it. I think it came from like a Harry Potter fanfiction. Although, if you know me, I'm big about writing fanfiction and turning it into your own, so I should be supportive of Twilight. I don't know, I live for the memes and like, this is the skin of a Keller Bella, like... So when I say like better than Twilight, I don't have sparkly vampires. And anyway, let's go on to the succulents. So as I was saying, I was making paper roses for my bouquet, which was fake flowers, for my own wedding, and these succulents are for my best friend's wedding. They will be the party favors that you get because her themes are very woodsy and sage and olive and browns and like earthen, and she's gonna have it outside, and it's gonna be so pretty. So I asked her, what are your idea about party favors? We were trying to brainstorm of something that people would pick up or just something unique that not, everybody does koozies. And I saw this really cute video of the bride crocheting her party favors. They were leggy frogs, and so I asked my best friend, I was like, hey, I can crochet, what do you want me to make? And we were both looking at succulents at the same time. I had the idea, she had the idea, and it just ended up perfectly. These are super easy to whip up. My mom is helping me, and I don't know why, but I love sewing them. So she'll just like make the chain, and you wrap them in a circle and then sew them all together. I do make different ones. So this one, there's like, you can see the circle. So you make a circle and then you make the leaves around the circle, and then you go on the back side and make another circle, make a bigger circle, and then make more leaves. And then this one is just a flat wrap around. There's ones you can make the pointed leaves, and then ones you can make like the flat leaves. So there's a variety of colors and shapes and sizes of different succulents. I don't have the dark green one, but yeah, it's gonna be really pretty, all on the table, just like a little succulent garden with all the different ones. And I don't know if we're gonna get a sticker on the back that says like her and her husband and the date, or if she was talking about like a tag. But yeah, I've seen weddings of people that give out real succulents, and it's like let love grow. So I'm getting some help from, like I said, my mom and my crochet group, the Naughty Hookers. If you're new here, it's a real group. So yes, I'm getting help because theoretically, I can make 200 of these in like 2 months, but it's nice to have help. And with more people doing it, there's more diversity of how they look. And I think I'm up to 112 right now. And yeah, we need 200, maybe some more. She's a big family. And then I don't think I have a picture of it, or maybe I do. And if I do, I will put it up here or here. But I made gummy bear granny squares for Nita's Knots Crochet because she is collecting squares for the Boggy Creek Blanket Brigade. She talks all about it on her channel, so you should go check it out. I'll also link her below because she shouted me out, and the Naughty Hookers, so thank you so much, Lynanne. If you're here from her channel, hi, welcome. I write books and then I also crochet. If you don't know about her channel and you like making granny squares, she is collecting them, no more than 20 to 30, and she puts them all together in a blanket because they leave the blankets on the beds for the Boggy Creek campers, and the campers get to take them home. And it's a camp for kids with illnesses, special needs, where kids can just be a kid. So if all the kids have cystic fibrosis, you're not singled out as the kid with cystic fibrosis. You all have it, and there's doctors on hand, and it's a really cool idea. I'm not looking in the camera, I apologize. Like I said, third time I'm saying I'm neurospicy, so I don't like making eye contact, even with my camera. But yeah, that's also what I made, and just a little bit about that. That's the crocheting I've been doing. And that's the end of this chapter, because I'm all out of yarn. So I'll put down the hook and close the book for now. Thank you so much for watching. Check out this video if you want to know a little bit more of my novellas, because the next one I will be reading The Mermaid's Shadow. And if you like what I do and what I make, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram for more content. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.